workforce and environment. Yeah, our meeting is being live streamed. Thank you. So I will just take you through this. It was established by our speaker, Mr. Ajayi Adeyemi, FCIPM, that we now have a workforce that includes employees from multiple generations. And what do we mean by that? We have boomers, baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Alpha, just name it. We all can attest to that. But what is your own generation? Do you know your own generation? Are you a baby boomer? Are you a Gen Z? If you don't know, take time to know which generation you truly belong in. Successfully managing a multi-generational workforce requires understanding of the realities and needs from all angles. Our speaker spoke at length about that, in that direction. He also enumerated the problems and challenges of successfully managing a multi-generational workforce. What are the key benefits of being a part of a multi-generational workforce, of managing a multi-generational workforce? It is here to stay. What are the benefits? Are you in your own organization? Are you enjoying the benefits of working, of recognizing that we have one generation and the other? Are you putting yourself in a position of learning what it means to be a Gen Z, what it means to be a baby boomer? And of course, he advised us use technology to support, not divide the workforce. And he gave us this beautiful summary. Diversity is strength, it's not a barrier. Intentional effort is required in managing multi-generational workforce. Success comes from collaboration. Collaboration is key. Teamwork is key. Also, misunderstandings are natural, but preventable. So with that, we move quickly. And before we go to the profile of our guest speaker for this wonderful KSS, I'd like to give like 1 or 2 minutes to anybody who was in the July KSS to share what was your take from that KSS. You can unmute and speak briefly, or you can put it in the chat if you can really recall what was your key takeout from our July KSS. While I call on the chairman again to take us through, to tell us who is our guest speaker, why are we here today, and what we hope to learn. Mr. Chairman again, sir. The chat box is open. Share with us what you learned from July KSS. Next slide, please, HES.
All right, thank you, GS. Chinasa is on the call to take the speaker's profile. She's on the call now. You can call her.
Okay. Chinasa, you are welcome. You have the floor, please. Thank you for your support. Chinasa.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Can we hear me so that I can?
Yes,
okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, Sean Olabode Badiru is a strategic transformation consultant and thought leader in strategic reengineering, business process optimization, and digital transformation. With deep expertise in organizational strategy, operational design, and technology integration, he helps business and institutions reimagine their future, streamline operations, and thrive in complex environments. As CEO of Africa Tech Hub, Sean leads a consulting and training firm that empowers organizations to achieve operational excellence and competitive relevance. His approach blends practical insights with strategic innovation, helping clients align vision, value, and execution. He is also the founder of Skill Up, a talent development initiative committed to building a digitally fluent, future-ready workplace across Africa. Through Skill Up, Sean mentors young professionals, runs immersive learning experiences, and develops tools that bridge the gap between theory and practice. Sean holds a master's degree in business administration and a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, complemented by executive education in strategic leadership and management from the University of Illinois, intellectual property law, University of Pennsylvania, and American contract law, Yale University. His interdisciplinary competence is further strengthened by specialized certifications in agile project management, business analysis, human resource management, digital marketing, cloud administration, and product design, enabling him to operate at the intersection of strategy, technology, and people. Well, with over 20 years of cross-sector experience, Sean Olabode Badiru has trained and consulted for HR leaders, public servants, entrepreneurs, and faith-based institutions, delivering context-specific solutions that drive both efficiency and human impact. Sean currently serves on the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM. He joined the council in 2023 as the elected chairman of the Ogun State branch, and in 2025 was re-elected directly into the council, continuing his contribution to advancing people management and leadership across Nigeria. A prolific communicator, Sean has authored books, workbooks, and newsletters on leadership, organizational change, digital transformation, human resource development, business innovation, and operational excellence. His teachings, shared through YouTube and LinkedIn, continue to inspire a growing community of professionals seeking clarity in today's noisy world. Beyond the boardroom, Sean is a passionate educator, pastor, and mentor. He believes every person and organization carries the potential for greatness when rightly aligned and equipped. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Shinas. I know that's a mouthful. That was a mouthful. Thank you. Thank you for helping us do that.
Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Sheun Badiro. If you're on the call, Sheun, can you unmute and take the floor?
All right. I think he dropped off. Maybe it's network. Please let's just exercise patience. I'm trying to see.
Okay. While we are waiting for Sheun to join the call back, that's our guest speaker. I'm going to put some people on the spot now, so you can fight me later. But for the sake of this, KSS, let's do this together. And you know, I asked a question earlier. What can you remember from July KSS? July KSS held virtually on the 2nd of July 2025, and it was on multi-generational workforce, the different perspectives, the problems that arise when you have that kind of setting, and some possible solutions. So number one, if I call you, I will just call like 2 people or until our guest speaker comes on. And I know I have the backing of my chairman to do this. If I call you and honestly you were in that KSS, just tell us what stood out for you. What did you take back to your organization? And I'm going to start with our very own AGS, Peter Osazua.
Certainly, madam. We'll quarrel later.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful pleasure to be here. It's always an insightful moment during our KSS. What stood out for me for that event is that for the first time, I get to realize that this drive, the trajectory that organizations are going is inevitable in terms of multi-generational workforce. Is inevitable. So only those organizations who have taken that reflection before now and who is ready to be as flexible as possible will be able to navigate and get the benefits of what multi-generational workforce has to offer to the workplace. Thank you, madam. So we'll see you later, ma.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you so
I'll
much,
call on
AJ.
one more person. Okay. Anybody
Yes.
mute?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. I'll just call on one more person. I can see our guest speaker is online again now. Can I call on our IPC, Ariola? If you were in July KSS, what stood out for you, man?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon,
Good afternoon.
IPC.
Yeah, a lot. I think one of the things that stood out was that every generation has something to offer, and every generation needs to learn how to get along with other generations. So it was quite instructive to see that for the organization to succeed as a whole, everybody must be willing to work with, no matter the generation you belong to, be willing to work with other generations and learn from those generations as well.
Thank you. That's well taken, IPC. Thank you for sharing your perspective. At this point, if Shehu is ready, Shehu, are you ready?
All right, let me just come in. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, IPC. And that was a very valid point. Agility, knowing how to work with other generations in the workplace. Let me just point this out before Sean comes up. Sean is my boss on different grounds, different levels. Last month, as a chapter, we were privileged to have an ACM, who is an elected council member, take our KSS. And this month again, we are also very privileged to still have an elected council member. So we are having elected council member back to back taking us and KSS, which means we are a very special chapter. Truly, we're a very special chapter. So please, let's make welcome. Especially, please give us your digital round of applause for our own elected council member. I can see your digital hand of applause in the chat. Please make welcome my very own Oga. Thank you so much, sir. Please, over to you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me stand on the already established protocol. I'm just trying to go through the names, the esteemed leaders and colleagues on the call. Thank you very much for the privilege to be here today. I'm not taking this for granted in any way. And thank you for bringing us into this leadership position. I know you were there for us because I had the feedback. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me rest on the already established because we have a lot to say, and I would like to just kick start immediately, and we can leave all the protocol issues till a later time. We have so much to talk about today. Trusting God that we'll be able to go very granular on this issue around policies. It's a subject we all know. We have King Kongs here. Each one of us, we are King Kongs in this subject matter because we have policies resident in our organization. So I'm not coming here with anything. As a matter of fact, I don't even know anything around policies. But with my interactions with Adeni Yaromolaron, is it the same Adeni Yaromolaron? Boss, hey, see set up. You brought me to come and speak where my boss is. Eh?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
See elder
Please,
here.
please, Sean, carry on, please. Carry on.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I've confessed my weakness ahead of time. Oh, I don't know anything. I'm just a young man trying to learn. So we are all going to learn from ourselves today. This is Nigeria, and where I am now, we have almost the entire world gathering here. So the internet is not as stable as we expect. So you permit me to off my camera so the network can be strengthened when it's only the audio that is displaying. Also, please help us record this so I can hear my flaws later and make corrections when there is a playback. Where is the air conditioner? Just give me a second. Let me put on. Okay. Can anyone hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. So we can shoot.
Please
so
go
I've been
ahead.
asked to speak on crafting policies that drive talent engagement and retention. And I want us to start with a simple, honest question. And I want you to reflect on this within the context of your organization. How many of us on this call have policy documents that no one really reads? Or worse, maybe policies that sound like they were written in another decade? You know the kind I'm talking about. It looks good on paper, full of legal grammar, but has zero connection, to how work actually happens. I'm sure a lot of us on this call are on this table. We've all seen them. Some of us inherited them, from our predecessors. Some of us may have even written them, and at the time, it probably felt like the right thing to do. For a long time, has been this assumption, this belief that once a policy is legally sound and nicely worded, yeah, they are effective. They are very effective. Once it checks, the boxes, we assume it works. But you and I know that's not the full story. Please, someone is unmuted and the noise is Eunice. Eunice. Mrs. Eunice, if you can mute, we would appreciate
That's fine. Thank you.
God bless. So on mute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I was saying a policy that looks good on paper can still fail in practice. A policy can be technically perfect and still completely, disconnected from people. So we need a new lens. If this is the case, we need to stop seeing policies as just tools for compliance, and we need to also stop treating them like administrative obligations. We need to start seeing them as cultural instruments, because that's really what they are, as levers, as strategic tools, as visible expressions of the kind of culture that we are actually trying to build in our organizations. This is what policies are, and this is how we should see them. Because if we continue to treat policies as mere checklists, we will miss the opportunity to actually shape behavior. We're going to miss huge opportunities to shape behaviors. But when we treat them as vehicles for reinforcing culture, then they start to do more than just compliance documents. They start to drive engagement, they start to build trust, and they start to anchor retention. And that's the shift we need to begin to make in this age. That's the huge shift that we need to make as strategic HR professionals, as business partners, from writing rules to reinforcing values, from enforcing compliance to engineering culture. And this is the kind of HR professionals that we should be, and these are the kind of policies that we should be writing today. So before we go for that, let's just pause and clarify our terms, because these two words, policy and culture, often get blurred. So what is a policy? A policy is simply the written expectation, is the what? Is the formal statement of, how we expect things to be done. Yes. And culture, because you link both in the topic you gave me. Culture, on the other hand, is the lived reality. It is the how, the unspoken norms, the daily behavior, the shared language. It's not what is written in your core values, that is your culture. No, it's the values we share, in the organization that make up our culture. Yes, that's actually the culture. So it's what people do when no one is watching. It's not the handbook, it's what we do in the hallway. So policies are not separate from culture. If you look at these two definitions now, they are not separate. It's not that this one is doing a thing separately and the other one is doing a thing separately. They are not on the sidelines. They are a formal, visible, structural expression of your culture. Policies, they are the formal, structural expression of your culture that is very visible. So if you want to know what an organization really values, don't just read the mission statement. Look at its policies. Look at its policies. Show me your policies, and I can tell you the kind of culture you have in that organization. Look at what it promotes, what it tolerates, what it ignores. Yes. Areas where it's silent. Because a policy on its own, it's just words. But once people begin to live it, or ignore it, or resent it, that's when it becomes cultural. And that's where the real impact really lies. The real impact, that's where it lies. And that's where policies either support culture or silently sabotage it. And here is where it gets interesting and a bit uncomfortable. You see, when there is a disconnect between policy and culture, all of us in the organization feel it. You may not see it in a report, but you are going to feel it in the disengagement, in the rising attrition, in the passive resistance, in the slow erosion of trust. You're going to see all of this. To be staring at you in the face. All of this that I've mentioned, will be visible because there is a disconnect between what you have written and the culture that you are living in the organization. What example can I? Okay, let's look at a tech company innovation. I know that's what, in fact, their priority, apart from excellence, is innovation. You say your core value is innovation. One of your core values is innovation, but you have a rigid 9 to 5 schedule, a formal dress code in a tech company. You said there should be nothing tied to the office. You said they should resume 9. I did engineering in school, though, and I'm also in the tech space. With maybe ni angeli gbe inspiration wa, and we wake up all through the night, drinking coffee, cracking codes, running the design, and you expect us to come 9 a.m. You are stifling innovation, sir. You are not encouraging innovation. You go and delete it from your core value. Go and delete it. And then to make matters worse, you have a 7-step approval process for new ideas. Oga, you have killed innovation. Well, I'll just come and do the normal 9 to 5 and go home. When inspirations come at night, I mean, you expect me to sleep because you expect me to come to the office very early in the morning. So what does that say? It's not just bad policy. It's a cultural contradiction. It's dissonance between what we say and how we operate. And here in Nigeria, these disconnects are not just small. They are amplified by our diversity, our generational mix, our economic realities, even our tribal and religious sensitivities. Yes, all of these are amplified. They are amplified. So when we write policies in isolation, without context, without empathy, without human insight, then they don't just miss the mark we expect them to hit. The target we expect them to hit, they don't just miss it. They actively alienate people. They widen the gap between leadership and the people that are led. That's the staff. They deepen disengagement. And these esteemed colleagues, this is what I call the great disconnect. The great disconnect. The great disconnect. It's not just a flaw in writing. No, it's a failure of alignment. Yes, failure of alignment. It's when policy says one thing, but culture feels something else entirely from what the policy is saying. And if we don't fix it, policies will continue to be ignored. Culture will continue to be misunderstood. And our people, our most valuable assets, will continue to drift. So I think I've laid a bit of template here. So let's move to the next slide. Why policies fail. Let's start with one of the most common and most dangerous assumptions in policy. I call it the one-size-fits-all illusion. That idea that one policy can work for everyone, every department, every location, every level of staff, irrespective of their grade level. One blanket rule for all. It sounds efficient. It feels clean on paper, but it fails. It fails us. It fails our people. It fails the very culture we are trying to build. Why? Because Nigeria is not uniform. We'll say that again. We are people of diverse culture, diverse religion. You know, we are not managing just job titles in Nigeria. We are managing people, and people are complex. We are managing age groups, ethnic backgrounds, languages, belief systems, educational levels, which one again? Digital fluency, socioeconomic gaps. Yes, all under one roof. All of the talents you have are classified, you know, across all of these I've mentioned. All working together, all interpreting the same policy, but very differently. So when we roll out a policy and assume it will land the same way in Lagos as it does in Owerri or Abuja or Makurdi, that's not just a risky assumption, that's a strategic misfire. Because people in Lagos are different from people in Abuja, are different from people in Makurdi. That's a design flaw, an invitation to disengagement. So let's look at a practical example, a remote work policy. I've shown you the before and after on your screen. I hope you can see. I hope this thing is not blocking. Okay. The before and after. A remote work policy sounds progressive, right? It signals trust. It sounds modern. It makes the organization look flexible and forward thinking. But have we considered whether the employee in Barrick in Ladi, that's in Plateau State, or Sapele in Delta State, or Ikiri in Osun State, has access to reliable power? Did we consider them before we come up with, you know, this remote work policy? Have we factored in internet limitations in all of these areas? Have we thought about shared living spaces, family responsibilities, or even communal expectations that shape how and when people can work from home? We write something like this: employees may work remotely for up to 2 days a week. Availability must be maintained during standard working hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Congratulations. On the surface, that looks fair. It looks fair and reasonable. But in practice, that policy assumes everyone has the same access to tools and conditions. Yes. What you just read now is with the assumption that everyone has the same access to the same tools and conditions. It assumes a flat playing field, which doesn't exist anywhere. So I feel it will be better to be empathetic, flexible, and inclusive in the writing. For example, instead of writing what is just reading, we can rework the example, you know, I just gave now as the one you are seeing at the right side, saying employees may work remotely for up to 2 days per week. Approval shall be subject to the nature of the employee's responsibilities and the operational realities of the allocation. Managers are expected to engage with their teams to determine feasible arrangements, bearing in mind connectivity, issues around power supply, and team deliverables. Can you feel the difference, esteemed colleagues? Can you feel the difference between the two? One is rigid and blind to context. The other is empathetic, flexible, and inclusive. One sets a rule. The other sets a direction. That's the shift I am talking about. And what I suggested is not in contrast with the tone you are used to, the ones that is contained in the policies line in our organization. The phrases like approval shall be subject to, I know you are used to that one. And bearing in mind, yes, that one is standard practice. You know, all of this reflect the kind of structure we are used to in our professional terrain. It's formal, it's clear, it sets the tone, and says, this is policy, not a suggestion. And this is how it supports the policy principles I'm preaching to you today. Permitting to use that word, yeah, preaching to you. Let's start with strategy. When we say managers are expected to engage with their teams, we are not just encouraging communication there. We are using policy as a cultural tool, a leadership tool. That particular line alone reinforces collaboration. So underline it. And notice this policy does not assume employees will abuse the system. So it's not built on suspicion, it's built on trust. It assumes that the people that will use it are adults, responsible professionals who want to deliver. Can you see that? So it's not reactive in nature. It's saying we trust you here because you are adults. Also, this one is not a knee-jerk reaction to complaints about traffic on NEPA. It's proactive, it's forward-thinking, it anticipates the realities of our environment and adequately integrates them into the solution it's suggesting. Then there's structure. Approvals are not random. There is a process. That's how you drive consistency. And it speaks to values. All of these are what should be in your policy documents. All of this: strategy, trust, proactiveness, structure, and communication, flexibility, result orientation. Values like flexibility and result-oriented work. Finally, it's not just thrown at employees. It's communicated with context. Look at that. Bearing in mind connectivity and team deliverables. Underline that. So it tells them, we thought this through. It's not a command, it's a conversation. We thought it through. So we are not giving you orders. We are only having conversations. For me, like I said, what do I know? But with my understanding of how people take things, I feel this will work better than, this former one will work better than the later. The later just feels, people will take it like, what do they feel? What do they feel of work? What do they feel? Do they feel we are not responsible? They will leave you and feel, they'll feel slavish and they'll feel you are using them. You just feel you can order them around.
Hello, Mr. Hello,
Let's take
sir.
another example. Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Mr. Badiro.
Yes,
I don't think your slides are moving. I don't think the slides are moving.
I'm here.
I got a chat. The slides are not moving. We have been on one page for a while.
Yes, I am here. I'm still speaking to this one. This one size fits all illusion.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just speaking to this. I mean, what you are seeing on the screen is the one size fits all illusion, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm speaking to, this is what I want to, this is what I'm speaking to, the before and after examples, before and after. So I'm just addressing them. I don't want to just read them and go. So I'm speaking to all these matters.
Thank you.
So let's look at the second example that is below. Sexual harassment policies. These are non-negotiables, absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. But how we write them, especially in a Nigerian context, matters deeply. Look at the typical example you have on your screen. The first one speaks to how we write them currently. Any employee who experiences sexual harassment should report to the HR department within 24 hours. Failure to do so may invalidate the complaint. Again, on paper, this looks strong. It looks clear, it looks strict, it looks legal. But in a country where reporting, abuse is culturally difficult, where shame, fear, or stigma are very real, then this kind of policy that you are seeing here at the left, can do the opposite of what is meant to do. It can silence people. Yeah. Can silence people. We can really protect the organization legally. Yeah, it might protect the organization legally, but it may fail the people emotionally. Now, compare that with something more localized, more culturally aware that I've written at the right side. The Institute maintains a zero tolerance policy on sexual harassment. Employees who experience harassment are expected to report through any of the approved channels, including line managers, HR, or the confidential whistleblowing platforms. I wrote that reports will be treated confidentially and acted upon promptly. No employee shall be penalized for reporting harassment in good faith. Can you hear the shift? Can you see the shift? So what we have now is no longer just a compliance policy. It's a statement of care. A statement of care. Just compare and contrast the former and the later. So it's a cultural message. It says we understand where you are coming from. We are listening. We build this policy for you, not just about you. So again, I'm careful because I have so many policy thought leaders here, and I can defend what I've written. What we have is not against the tone you are used to. You can see we have approved channels here, treated confidentially. No employee shall be penalized. And these are signals that this policy is serious. This policy statement is serious, that we mean business, but in a professional, dignified way. Dignified way. Please underline that dignified way, not bullying people. It also supports, my own understanding of how a policy principle should be crafted. It's a declaration of what we stand for: dignity, respect, and safety. That's the later one that I wrote. It's also built on trust. So we are saying to employees, we believe you. We've made it safe to speak up. We believe you. So speak up. And notice that it's not reactive. It's not something we whipped up after a scandal. It's structured and deliberate. So I feel this is proactive HR and not reactive. If you look at it very well, you also see that it commits us to consistency. Look at the phrase, acted upon promptly. It's not vague. It's a promise. So this is how I feel policies should be written. The kind of policy that drives engagement. So that's an example. So let's move on to the second one, the top-down cognitive approach. Those policies that read like a warning letter. Policies that sound more like threats than guidance. Policies that feel like they were designed in a courtroom, not in a workplace. I know you have them. Don't be late. Don't access social media. Don't use your phone. Don't do this, don't do that. Sometimes, it feels like they were written not by HR, maybe like Oga Olopa, by a disciplinary panel. And you can feel the tone, rigid, controlling, suspicious in an organization. And that's why, this is why people don't trust HR sometimes. That is why they feel we're on the side of management. So the real problem with this approach is that he assumes mistrust. He assumes employees will misbehave. So why should I behave when you have assumed that we misbehave? So you assume they will misbehave if they are not threatened. If you don't threaten them, your policy is saying they will misbehave. It assumes people don't want to do good work unless you police them. And when that becomes the default tone of your policy framework, everything else starts to fall apart. Like I said, when I was preparing this slide, I know it can't be popular because it's like I'm shattering tables, and I wish I'm speaking to the juniors here. Wish I'm speaking to juniors because again, and that's why I brought all the facts. And that's why I put the examples here, and I can defend what I've written. Because the former is how we write policies in organizations. But I hope I have the mandate of this esteemed house to continue with this conversation because you gave me the topic. So if something is not wrong with the policies we already have, you guys won't say we should come and poke fingers there and see and fish out what is wrong and see how we can craft a better one. All these policies shaped by fear, we create fear. All these policies built on control, we breed resistance. So instead of structure, what you will get is silence. I know some of us have been getting it from silence. Odigbere, resentment. Instead of engagement, resentment, lomari. Instead of trust, they will distance themselves, and before you know it, attrition. And when all of these are happening, when the chips are down, guess who gets caught in the crossfire? Who gets caught in the crossfire? HR. So we become the face of these policies. We become the enforcers, not the bridge builders anymore, not the advocates, not the champions of culture. We become the ones who deliver the queries. The ones who issue the warnings, the ones who feel like we are always managing conflicts instead of inspiring performance. And that's a dangerous space to be in. Because once your people stop seeing HR as fair, as balanced, as human, you know what they're going to do? They will withdraw. Once they withdraw, what follows? Disengagement. They stop trusting you. And eventually, they stop growing. So, I know we are operating in Nigeria, a society that has been shaped by years of authoritarian leadership models, both in politics, in education, in religion, and yes, even in our corporate structures. I know we operate military-like models. So our default management culture in many organizations is still top-down, command and control. Power sits at the top there with the bosses, and everyone else is expected to fall in line. So if we are not intentional, if we don't actively design against that legacy, our policies will simply mirror it. And that's what you are seeing on your screen. As policies will simply mirror, military-like, regimented, way of doing things. A compliance culture. That's what it will create at the end of the day. Compliance. Where people feel, they just follow the rules, but they never feel empowered to ask why. A compliance culture where people behave but never belong. Everybody, oh boy, they said this is it here. Nobody is free. Work does not feel like home. A compliance culture where people behave but they don't belong. Your best talents play it safe or quietly starts looking for the next exit. So what do? Let's shift the lens. Let's flip the script. Let's stop writing policies as if our people are the problem. Let's start writing them as if they are our partners, because that's what they are. They came to the organization to partner with us, to move the organization forward. Let's start writing content policies as if they are adults, as if they are. Because the moment people feel heard, the moment they feel involved in the creation of the policies that affect them, something changes. What will happen to engagement? Engagement will go up. Ownership will go up. Retention will go up. And HR, what will happen to us? We get repositioned. So not us as policemen that they see us as currently, but as trusted ally, as a strategic voice for both the business and the people. A classic example is what you are seeing on your screen, lateness policy. This one left saying any employee who reports after 8:01 a.m. shall be marked late. 3 instances of lateness within a month will result in disciplinary action. This one assumes the worst. It assumes the employee don't care. It assumes it's using punishment as the motivator for people to come early. And I know this is how most of our policy statements sound, especially lateness policy. And it creates zero room for context. Instead of having it this way, now let's look at this one at the right. It says employees are expected to resume work by 8 a.m. daily, where lateness occurs more than twice. You can see that I have written employees are expected to resume work. It's not that we are leaving it open, no problem. Where 8 is 8. But where lateness occurs more than within a calendar month,
Our apologies, everyone. Please, let's bear with the speaker. I think he's having some network challenge. He will join us shortly. Yes, I believe it's network, so he will join us shortly. In the meantime, so that we don't keep you, and I value your time, and we don't want to waste anybody's time. Pending when the speaker is able to reconnect.
okay.
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 Are you
so sorry on my internet.
Welcome. It's fine, sir. Welcome.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sincere apologies. Where I am now is I know I will soon relocate to the moon. So where was I? Okay, I was defending my policy statement. If you also look at this one at the right is built on trust, not threats. It assumes lateness could have a reason, Abi. So it opens the door to conversation before judgment. Can you see that? Where lateness occurs more than twice within a calendar month, the supervisor shall engage the employee to understand the root cause and provide support where necessary. It doesn't mean that having this conversation with you, we make us say you are not late. No, you are still late. But we care enough to know why you come late. Because we are a team. And you want consistency? Is there. Look at that phrase. In line with the disciplinary procedure. We have written it there too. And that's how you remove bias. That's how you create credibility. You know? That's how you create credibility. What about the values? Respect is there. Fairness is there. Accountability is there. Even the way we say without just cause shows balance, Abi. We are firm, but we are fair. And again, we're not just dumping this in a memo. It's wrapped in context, driven by empathy, grounded in organizational operational flow. If you see the way it's crafted. Again, this is not a best practice. This is just an example. But I know this later one is better than the previous one that you are seeing on your screen. So I feel crafting it this way is better than running it the previous way. Let's move to the next slide. The third reason policies fail is the reactive band-aid approach. And this is when we create policies in response to problems, not based on strategy. A panic happens. In Nigeria itself, I think we are all reactionary in nature. Always reacting to something. Something will happen, and then everybody comes out with a memo to react to that thing. So it's not based on foresight, but based on fallout. It's not based on principle, pressure on it. So someone comes late on Monday morning. What happens on Tuesday? We have a new lateness policy. Firm, very harsh, with 3 layers of penalties, and maybe even, biometric monitoring. Someone abuses their lunch, the break. Boom, by Friday, we've rolled out a 14-paragraph break time protocol. Reactionary, we are reactionary in nature. Can't we be proactive? Policies should respond to issues, yes. But please don't get me wrong. It's not bad that policies respond to issues. Let me say that again, because I'm speaking to thought leaders. It's not bad that policies respond to issues, but we must act when problems arise. But the problem is not that we are responding. The problem is how we are responding. So when we become reactive, when every policy is a knee-jerk reaction to one incident, what we build is not structure. Babala chaos is what we are building. So we stop thinking long-term, and all of a sudden, the guys making things happen around us are the ones controlling us now. We stop asking questions. We stop understanding the systems and start firefighting, the system, all of the symptoms around us. And what will be the end of what will be the result? What will this do for us? It's going to turn you into a reaction unit, your department, always responding. But you're not going to have a seat at the table because you're not leading. always managing consequences, but you are not joining them to design the culture. So it turns your organization into over-regulated environments, places where every move is policed. No one is empowered. It's call and response, rule and consequences. You do this, we hit your head. You do this, we hit your head. No one is really empowered to think long term, to make mistakes, to take risk. Because everybody is just dodging. Nobody wants to be the next scapegoat. Nobody wants to be the next scapegoat. Let's look at this example. Internet usage. The one some of us have currently, we sound like this. All personal internet usage is strictly prohibited during working hours. Any breach will lead to disciplinary actions. Aha. Now again, this sounds strong. It sounds decisive. Let's clap for ourselves. Pa, 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 pa. But is that really the issue? Or is the person mentally disengaged? Is it that the guy just wants to be lazy, wants to be checking TikTok during work hours? Or the guy is not mentally disengaged? He's not mentally engaged? Is it boredom? Is it burnout? Is it lack of clarity? Is it poor management? What if instead the policy acknowledges the human behavior? Look at this one at the right. Employees are expected to use office internet facilities primarily for work-related purposes. Yes. You can see I'm not rocking the boat. Jeje, now here I stand though. I've given you the one you are used to. Employees, employees, you are expected to use office internet facilities primarily for work-related purpose. But occasionally, personal browsing is permitted, provided it does not disrupt productivity or contravene IT security standards. Because yeah, forget it. Even you browse, you check Facebook. I know some of our generations, we are Facebook people. Your policy is telling them not to check TikTok, whereas you are on Reels. I mean, we say, I make posts now, and some of us we comment on those posts during work hours. Yes, I make posts, and some of the likes I get are during work hours, and then you are bringing out a internet usage policy that says that forbids going to the internet, going to do personal browsing, and that they should use who is deceiving who. Occasional personal browsing is permitted, provided it does not disrupt productivity or contravene IT security standards. So anybody looking at this kind of policy now, we feel, okay, fine. It's not that we are going to hell. Work is not hell. We can still play at work. Work is home. Repeated misuse may attract administrative sanctions in line with the organization's disciplinary policy. So we have tightened the security there. We are telling them we trust them. We didn't say prohibited. We didn't say punishable. We said permitted, but with limits. So that tells your employees, we see you, Oga, we see you, they see you with one corner eye, but we trust your judgment. You are an adult now, you are not a baby. And that one line can shift perception from control to partnership. It can shift perception. So I've dwelt here long enough. Please, how many more minutes do I have? Because this one I'm just talking as if, let me know so I can manage my time.
I think you have about, we can give you maybe about 5-10 minutes so that we can have some hours, some minutes for Q&A.
Okay. So let me.
If it's okay by you, we can give you like 10 minutes more.
Okay, so this is 1:20. By 1:30, we stop. So
Exactly.
wherever I stop, I think the slides will. But I hope you appreciate the fact that I wrote the old and the new, this way. so we can see what I'm speaking to. So number 4, why policies fail: lack of enforcement and accountability. Look at the old, look at the new. I want to just paraphrase what is on the screen, so I don't disrespect your time. Lack of enforcement and accountability. We've seen it all. We've sat through the policy rollouts, run trainings, printed the handbooks, held the awareness sessions. But the truth is, a policy that is not enforced, a rule that is not applied, a standard that is only a suggestion, it's not just weak, it's of no use, it's worthless. Somebody is scribbling on my screen. Oh, please have mercy on me. So
I
we craft
apologize,
this.
it was an error.
Okay. So we craft these beautifully worded policies, elegant, legal, airtight. But once it gets out into the system, what happens? One person violates it, and HR is expected to act. Abi? Maybe issue a warning, maybe escalate to management. Fair enough. But then someone else breaks the same rule, and suddenly it's let's just manage it quietly. Double standard. Let's not rock the boat. Let's handle it internally. Are we? And that's someone, often a top performer, or worse, maybe someone that is a senior executive. So a different rule for these guys, a different rule for the other guys. And what does that do? What does that inconsistency create within the organization? Doubt, cynicism. It sends one clear message to everyone in the organization. This policy does not really apply to everyone, Jare. Now, bobo that the bobo us. Depends on who you are. It's just the way. Don't want EFCC to come and carry me, but I'm sure you get the message. It doesn't apply to everyone. So that right there is how we lose credibility. That's how we lose the room. That's how we HR become the ones everyone blames. Because they have seen others, you are tools in the hand of management. Not because we created the double standard, though, but because we are the ones holding the pen while it happens. We are the ones holding the pen while it happens. And please know that no one, follows rules that only apply to the powerless. No one respects policies that only protect some and punish others. Look at this. All employees are expected to treat colleagues with respect. Harassment or bullying will not be tolerated. But then a high-ranking team leads, a very high-ranking team lead gets away with yelling at juniors when they are having meetings. All intents, they have to be belittled. They use language that would make your compliance training blush. And what do? We just look away. Because these are hypers, these are hypos. It's delivering results. That's selective blindness, man. That's selective blindness. And that's what kills culture. That's what kills culture. That's what makes the policy. Everybody just feel they're away. So what's the alternative? Let's look at what's at the right. All employees are expected to treat one another with dignity and respect at all times. Disrespectful behavior, including verbal abuse, harassment, or bullying, whether it's from the junior or senior staff, will be investigated and addressed in line with the organization's grievance and disciplinary procedures. Everyone deserves a safe and respectful workplace. Can you see the difference between both? Can you see the difference between both? I will leave that there because of my time. Another reason policies fail, the flaw of ignoring unintended consequences. sometimes as policymakers, we mean well. We are solving real problems. We have the right intentions. But intention is not impact, Abi. And when we don't slow down to anticipate the ripple effect, when we don't pause to ask, how will this land on the people living it out, we end up creating policies that fix one thing and then breaks. It's not even another thing that it breaks. It breaks 3 others. So let's say leadership wants to boost productivity. Let's just use that as an example. How can I coin this now? Okay, we want to boost productivity. We roll out a policy. More working hours. Abi? Great. Especially those of us that many people that work on the factory floor. Tighter targets. Stricter reporting deadlines. On paper, I mean, you all see this looks good, bold, measurable, clean. But 2 months later, what do we start seeing? Burnout. Burnout. Silence in team meetings. You are getting your productivity, but look at the ripple effect. People are applying for sick leaves. More sick leaves. Disengagement in the air. And eventually, what happens? Attrition. So you are trying to boost productivity. But at the end of the day, look at the problems you have created. People are tired. They are not just exhausted, they are detached. And suddenly, what starts out as a performance initiative becomes a well-being crisis in the organization. And where does that crisis land? On CFO's table, Abi? Or on CEO's table? It's coming to you on your desk, HR. So you start managing stress cases. You start handling exit interviews. You are coaching line managers who don't know how to motivate people anymore. Because the problem was not motivation, it was exhaustion. It was exhaustion. You saw it from the beginning, but you look away. You were not proactive enough. So what went wrong? You didn't plan for the consequences. You didn't see the consequences you did not see coming. You didn't plan for it. You didn't ask, what will this cost emotionally, physically, or psychologically? You just jumped into, you wanted to solve operational problems, but you missed the human impact. So the policy that was meant to cure a headache ended up causing a heart attack. A curing headache. But because you were not thoughtful enough, as you are curing the headache, you are creating a heart attack. When I give this to you, I only have about 3 minutes more. Let me just when I give this to you, you look at the policy statement at the left and the right. The left is how we have been writing it. The one at the right is my recommendation. So compare and contrast, and then the one at the right is the kind of policy statement that engages. The one at the left is the one that makes people feel, get out. Are we slaves here? Lastly, why policies fail? Lack of strategic purpose and communication. Policies are written without a clear, measurable objective and are poorly communicated, leading to lack of buy-in. I'll just leave that there because my time is almost gone. So the paradigm shifts. Policies must be a tangible expression of an organization's core values. Your policies must be a tangible expression of what you stand for. It's not enough to diagnose what's broken. The real question is, how are you going to fix this problem? So policies in their traditional form have often been about control, yes, about compliance, about limiting risk. But in today's world of work, especially for the kind of organizations that we want to attract and retain, our top talents, we want to attract, that old model is not enough. We need to start seeing policies not just as rules to follow, but as a reflection of who we are as a tangible expression of, our organizational values. And if you look at the examples, I've broken it down with these examples. If one of your values is trust and autonomy, then it doesn't make sense to have a rigid 9 to 5 clock in, clock out policy. There's no time to explain all this. My time is almost up, and I still want to I want to run you through these steps, and then I will submit framework for engagement-driven policies. Step 1, audit and design. Everything I've said so far boils down to one big idea. Policy is culture in writing. We have all agreed with that. So if we want to change culture, if we want to deepen engagement and actually retain our best people, then we have to start crafting policies differently. And not just differently, but deliberately. So this practical framework are what I'm offering. Number 1, audit and design, audit and align. Start with what you already have. Look at your existing policies. Really look at them and ask yourself one very tough question. What kind of culture are these policies actually creating? It's not about what the document says. It's about what people experience because of it. So start gathering real feedback in the organization. Run surveys, host small focus groups, review exit interviews, and ask yourself, which policies are outdated? Which ones are confusing? Which one feels misaligned with the values we claim to have? Then take that feedback and align each policies with a bigger cultural goal. Take it and align with a bigger cultural goal. Ask yourself, what kind of workplace are we trying to build? And then ask yourself again, does this policy help us get there? Or is it getting in the way? If there's misalignment, the culture will suffer. And when culture suffers, engagement will drop. Number 2, quickly, co-create and don't dictate. And this is a big one, a very huge one. Too often, our policies are written by a small team in the office, just HR, maybe only yourself, HR, legal, maybe a senior executive or 2, and then they are handed down like commandments. Esteemed leaders and colleagues, that era is over. Today's workforce wants to be part of that process, especially these Gen Zs. And when they are not part of the process, that's when resistance kicks in. So instead of dictating policies, please co-create the policies with them. You are still offering guidance. Create a cross-functional policy review team. Get representatives from different departments, different levels. Use anonymous surveys, town halls, all manner of digital suggestion boxes. Get people involved before the policy is finalized. Because when people feel like their voices was heard, when you were creating the policies, when they can, see their fingerprints on the final product, then they are far more likely to support that very policy. And the jala you will also have is that you will build trust. You will reinforce a sense of ownership, and you will be modeling the culture, the very culture you are trying to create. Step number 3, communicate with empathy and context. Esteemed colleagues, your communication is not a memo. We are used to memo too much. You can't just send out a new policy via email and expect people to embrace it. You can't assume that understanding will automatically translate into acceptance. And you definitely cannot assume that people will change their behavior just because a policy was signed off by senior management. You have to explain it. You have to humanize it. Hold a town hall. Run a departmental level Q&A session. with various departments. Use storytelling, use examples, use language that connects. Let people hear not just what is changing, but why it matters. What's the need for them? What's the need for them? Number 4, and that's the last one, enable leaders and measure impact. Please note today that the success of any policy lives and dies with the line managers. Yes, line managers. You can have the most progressive, well-written policy in the world, but if your managers don't believe in it, or worse, if they continue to behave in ways that contradict it, the whole thing collapses. The whole thing is a mess. Because these are, the culture carriers, the line managers. They are the amplifiers. Or, worst case, they are the silencers of what HR is trying to build. So what do? Please train them, equip them, coach them. If you've just introduced a flexible work policy, but your team leads are still micromanaging and measuring productivity by quiz online at 8 a.m. or 8:01 a.m., you have not created flexibility, my brother. You have created confusion. So help them shift. Teach them how to lead with clarity and empathy. Give them the tools to manage outcomes, not hours. Hours here, Romo. Some people have delivered the result overnight. Create platforms where they can share what's working and what's not. Then measure the impact. Measure the impact. Because policy is not just set it and forget it. It's not a one-off project. It's a living system, continuous. Look at your retention data. Look at your employee net promoter score. Track engagement levels across departments. Ask your people, are people staying longer? Are they more engaged? Are they recommending your organization as a great place to work? And then review it. Maybe biannually, annually, whatever cadence works for you. Just don't let your policy sit in a digital file, gathering dust, while your people and your business evolve. So those are the 4 steps: audit and align, co-create and don't dictate, communicate with empathy, and finally, empower your leaders and measure what matters. So this is where I will end today. There's still so much to talk about, but because I feel I should say your role as culture architects, but you read that on your own. I know you know your role already, but don't forget that your policies should be strategic tools and cultural instruments. They should be built on trust and not mistrust. I've said that they must be proactive and not reactive. Which other one did I say? They must be consistently enforced. Yes, enforced. If not, they are suggestions, not policies. And they must be aligned with organizational values. Which one was the last one? Yes, communication. They must be communicated with purpose and context. So we need to stop seeing policies as mere administrative rules for compliance, and we need to start seeing them as strategic instruments that we will use to shape and reinforce our company culture. This is where I will end because of our time. Thank you for listening. I hope I have done justice to the topic. So over to you, our hosts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Badiro. Can we have a virtual round of applause for him, please? Can we just celebrate him? Have a virtual round of applause. Please show him some appreciation virtually. Everyone, please send in your virtual applause. Thank you so much, sir. Before we go into the Q&A, I'd like to encourage everyone, if you have not registered your attendance for this knowledge sharing session, kindly do so. It is important for us to have you register your attendance using the link already posted in the chat, so that we can track attendance and also use it for other administrative stuff. So please take a few minutes if you have not done so. Sign use the link and sign the attendance sheet. Nothing personal, nothing too confidential. Yes, it has been reposted again. Please sign the attendance sheet. Thank you. Our speaker has used some of our time, but it's all good. It's all valuable time, well used. If you have a question, please raise your hand and your mute, and we ask maybe like 2 or 3 questions. But I have one for you, sir. And that has to do with, I wrote it down where. That has to do with double standard, favoritism, the Parakbo syndrome in implementing HRO policies, and how that erodes trust. You mentioned trust, lack of trust for HR in the organization during some part of your presentation, and trust is key in every form of leadership, in every organization, workforce. Trust is key. I know trust is also both ways. So I'd like you to speak a bit more. You touched on that. I know you were rushing for time. Speak a bit about this syndrome, this favoritism, this Parakbo syndrome, this double standard in implementing HRO policies, and what word of advice do you have for HRO practitioners who are on the call or who are even going to listen to this message at another time? Thank you. Our speaker, Mr. Badiru.
Oh, I started talking. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't unmute. Okay. So thank you very much. You know, favoritism and double standards in organizations significantly erode trust when implementing HR policies, no doubt. Number one, the perceived fairness, it undermines it. Employees expect HR policies to be applied uniformly. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And when some individuals receive special treatments, others feel policies are selectively enforced. They bullshit it. They just feel, my friend, I better get out. Some people are, you are just harassing some of us that are the masses. So it's going to create a perception of injustice. And what does that lead to? It's going to discourage policy compliance. So when employees see that rules don't apply equally, then they are less likely to comply themselves. So they may disregard rules as, mere guidance for the powerless. And when that happens, credibility of HR is damaged. It's going to discredit your department as HR, because now you are seen as biased and compromised. So they will lose faith in your ability to protect them or act objectively. If it's a unionized environment, you are in trouble. It's going to breed resentment. Morale will drop significantly. Because feeling of exclusion among non-favored staff, we're setting hostility towards leadership and, colleagues receiving preferential treatment. You are just divided the organization. It's going to be a war. And I pray they don't kill themselves in your neck, like we say in Nigeria. Because now all your favorites, they'll be looking for how to take them out. Fuel toxic work culture, the culture you are trying to build. Gossip, backbiting, unhealthy competition. The culture where, loyalty to individuals matter more than competence and contribution. And your accountability system will become very weakened. Very, very weakened. What's performance management? they'll throw it to the gutter. It becomes meaningless because, I mean, you have favorites. Whether they perform or not, you will promote them. You will give them perks. So others begin to test boundaries, expecting no consequences. So your accountability system cut off. And what happens to your retention? You can't retain people there. High performance teams, your employees that are hypos, they may leave. When they perceive that promotions are rewards and not merit-based, they're going to leave. Even the learning in the organization, zero. Leadership authority will be undermined. So I just leave that here. I hope I've been able to, what I said makes sense.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the insights you have shared. It's really appreciated. So we have time for one question from the chat, and that was posted by Eniola. I will read it as she has posted it, and if you can provide some clarity around that for her and for all participants. She said, we currently have a robust and all-inclusive policies in my workplace, but it seems people have become complacent and are not fully aware of these policies. Please note that we have an employee self-service portal that houses all this information, but unfortunately, it does not translate into the culture. That is the how. How can we harness this better? From Owolabi, Eniola Owolabi. Can you take a stab at that, sir?
Okay. They have a robust policy in place, but it does not translate into the kind of culture, that they are expecting. Abi?
Yes, and they are complacent.
So the question now is, how can they, harness this
better?
I think, even though I would have loved that other people contribute, I've seen one of my bosses here, Bukola Thomas. She used to lead us in the CPC. But if we close the policy practice gap, I think it will help. Let's audit how policies are being practiced, not just whether they exist. Identify areas where policies are ignored, maybe bent or misinterpreted. And regularly ask yourself, is this how we actually, do things? Then get leadership to model it. People emulate what leaders do, not what they say. So ensure senior leaders embody the values in the policies. Your leaders are the custodians, are the shapers of the culture in your organization. So if you have a robust policy, but it doesn't translate to culture, then something is wrong with the leadership. So ensure senior leaders embody the values in those policies. And a way to do this is to reward leaders who champion fairness, who champion accountability, who champion openness. Maybe you can also create visible moments where, leadership enforces or lives out key policy values. That will motivate those, the junior staff, the mid-level staff, the junior staff, that are looking up to them, because they see that, okay, compliance is top down. It's not that it's only for scapegoats or the masses.
Thank you.
Also, in my head, I'm thinking people remember stories, not paragraphs. So maybe you want to share real stories of how the policy was applied successfully, et cetera, and, align systems and symbols. systems either will reinforce it or contradict the policy. So check if promotion, performance appraisals, which other ones now, disciplinary actions and team rewards reflect what that policy says. You have to ingrain it into the nooks, the fabrics of the organization. So align informal symbols like maybe office space, access, recognition, etc., with the policy's stated values. You know, those are what are in my head now, you know.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
hope,
so much.
but we have.
I hope Eniola
Yeah.
Owola is listening, and I will just also call on Bukola Thomas to share a very, very brief insight, maybe 2-3 minutes on this question. Mrs. Thomas,
Sorry, have
can
we
you?
recognized the vice president? I just saw her
Yeah, we
comment
are coming
now.
to that. We are coming to that
Okay.
now. We are coming to that, sir. We are
Okay.
much aware. Yes, we are coming to that. Mrs. Thomas, please. You want to take a stab at this because it's a question that Eniola Wolabi really raised. Okay. I'd like to call on the chairman, lab chapter. You have the floor, sir. Mr. Chairman of lab chapter.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon. Wow. What a very wonderful session. I mean, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. I would like us to acknowledge someone very, very dear to our highly esteemed institute. We are privileged to have on this call the Vice President of CIPM. We have on the call Mrs. Chidima Justina Biajesi, FCIPM. Please, with a with a round of applause, a digital round of applause,
Welcome,
please.
Especially welcome, ma'am.
Drop in
Thank
messages in the chat
you.
box. Can we make welcome our very own Vice President? And this shows you that you know there's grassroots involvement of the national. They are not just concerned about you paying bills or paying dues. No, 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 no. They are fully involved even in the grassroots affairs. And just to even point this out, VP still called me, I think on the 27th of last month, just to check up on me, know how the chapter is doing, know how my family is doing. And now again, she's on the call. And this is amidst a very, very busy schedule. So please help me welcome her especially. We are privileged to have you in our midst. And she's going to do us the honor as well of appreciating our guest speaker, who is an elected council member. Over to you, my VP.
Okay, my chairman and the entire members of Lab chapter. I feel honored to be here and thank you for your kind words, really. You know, they say it's you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Let me recognize, first of all, distinguished members here, apart from the chairman and ESCO. I've noted from the attendance list and even from the flyers we sent out. Our guest speaker today is our distinguished elected council member, Sean Badiro. Well done, but I'll come back to your matter. I also noted that I have our own prince here, my brother and friend, longtime brother and friend, Prince Adeni Yaromolaron, FCIPM. I hope he's still on the call. Prince and I come a long way. Like they say, it's very difficult to shed old habits. Those days of physical meeting, I had a habit of stumbling into lab chapter physical meetings and sharing with them back then. So when I saw this flyer, I couldn't resist the temptation of showing up again. I also thought I could just hide in the background and just watch and be sure that my children here are doing well. I couldn't also resist the temptation of saying hello to old friends. Prince Niyi, I hope you are here. I jubal to the
I can hear you.
I
can hear you.
Thank
My
you.
Vice President, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Well done.
Indeed,
I also
we come a
noted,
long way.
Yes, I also noted on the attendance, my former secretary and vice and financial secretary of the branch and former chairman of this chapter, which is also Bridget Igodalo. Bridget, I hail you, ma. Well done, and thank you for all you are doing. And all the IPCs on this call, including our current chairperson and our secretary, whom we parlayed at the last stream conference. Well done to all of you, and well done to this group for this great session. It's a great thing to come and see that Lab Chapter is growing, and to come and see that we are even stronger than the last time I paid a visit during your 10th anniversary. Well done, well done, well done to all of you. On behalf of the president and chairman of council, I must tell you people that we are quite excited to know that the chapters are growing stronger. You know, like they say, every organization is as strong as its weakest link. So we cannot afford not to have our chapters. You people are the grassroots. We can't be there. I come in here once in a while. We can't be everywhere in the grassroots. So the work you are doing, this KSS, this gathering, this keeping our members engaged every time is what makes it happen for us. And we do not take that for granted. Thank you so very much. God bless you. You have the message of the leadership, appreciating you for this. And Sean mentioned this, I noted in his opening remark, that we also would like to thank you for the opportunity given to us to come back and serve you in the platform we are, from the president to the vice to the national treasurer and the elected council members. We don't take that for granted. If you do not make it happen, we can do nothing. If you do not do these things you are doing, we can do nothing. If you did not show that confidence and trust in our ability to deliver on your expectations, we can also do nothing. My only appeal here is that let's keep doing it, and let's keep bringing the feedback. You understand that being up there for her back, no one. So we rely so much on your support, on your prayer, on your fast of champions. So we rely on that. Having said that, my chairman is just part of my role to check on and be sure that we are in good state and we are doing well. I will now come to Sean. Sean, I was smiling, kept throwing you out. But let me say that I'm really impressed and I've learned so much on this topic that you have treated today, from policies to culture. Yes, we may all say that a lot of us know these things, but you see, sometimes you get so used to it that you forget, you get carried away. And it's good that we are having a wake-up call. I have personally learned a lot, and I took copious notes from your delivery of policies to culture to how we can craft and word and engage policies to what makes our policies fail. You actually did a lot here, and you said so much that we should take home. I also noted that some of our members are calling for the slides. I don't blame them. I would actually call for the slide as well, because sometimes the way we craft our policies matter, and you have brought that to fore. Thank you so much. I also like the simplicity of your presentation. You took it naturally. You took it well. I'm not surprised anyway. And thank you. I feel super proud of you. God bless you. So having said, I hope that for all of us, we'll take what Sean has shared with us today. We'll take it to heart. We'll go back, like he said. We'll take up our policies again. We'll look at them again. We'll realign them. We'll reward them. Make sure that they're in line with current realities. And also in line with keeping an engaged workforce. Once we are able to do that, well, thank you everyone. On behalf of the Lekki chapter, on behalf to also present this to you. It is a token of our appreciation in recognition of your invaluable contribution as guest speaker at today's monthly knowledge sharing session, which is themed from policies to culture, crafting policies that drive talent engagement and retention. And I must say that you did justice to that. Held this Wednesday, August 6, 2025. Thank you very much. Duly signed by the chairman. Sean, I'm sure they will send this to you. Kudos
Thank you.
to you and good work you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
God
Thank you,
bless
ma'am.
you. And to you, my
Thank you.
Okay, I think I can't hear again. I hope it's not my network.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you.
I
I look forward to having more engagement.
Yes, ma'am.
Well done.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Badiru. Quickly, I'd like to call on, please, if you have still not signed the attendance sheet, please oblige us. Oblige us. I'd like to call on the financial secretary to give us financial update. AGS, please move this slide. Financial secretary, please. Yes, please. We are running.
Good day, everyone.
Thank you, Sheun. We are trying to manage the time.
Okay. Standing on existing protocol, for new members to be recognized as member of Lekki Ajabadori chapter, the following are required of us: a registration and payment of annual dues to the national body, registration and payment of annual dues to the chapter, which is 10,000 naira per annum. Our account details are as follows: Access Bank, the account name is LAPPC, and our account number is 0040065279. And if today is your first time of joining us, you still have about 3 more learning sessions to join in the year before you can be a full member of Lekki Ajabadori chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Financial Secretary. Thank you for being very prompt. Before we go to AOB, moving a motion for adjournment, this is August. Our annual international conference and exhibition is coming up in October. And I'd like to use this opportunity to call on the treasurer to talk a bit about the conference and registration details, if we still have discounts running. Treasurer Uche, just a few minutes so that we can chip it in before the AOB. Uche now. Okay. At this point, I'd like to call on, and I guess there's no AOB. So let's call on S official, Believer Yidu, to move a motion for adjournment before the closing prayer.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Believe. How you do? I just want to move for motion to adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Believe. Who is seconding, please? Mrs. Thomas, you are muted.
Oh, I'm happy to move the to second the motion. I, Bukola Thomas, MCIPD. MCIPM. I have to say CIPD.
It's all good.
MCIPM.
Thank you. Before we do the closing prayer and the national anthem, we are going to use the third stanza of the Nigerian national anthem to close this wonderful and very enlightening session. I'd like the ESCOs to stay on the call while participants exit the call. Please, all ESCOs should remain in the call except for the chairman of the chapter. Please, thank you. AGS.
Yes, we can now sing the third stanza of the national item. We hope that those with sonorous voice will lead us and share us up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. On 3, 2, 1, and 0. Oh God of creation, grant these
help
us to be
a nation where no man
oppressed and so Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank
you
you very much
for your time. Thank you, and I believe it. We have made it worth your while. Thank you, and we see you again, hopefully, in September for the next KSS. So, if you don't mind, kindly turn on your cameras now. We want to take a virtual photograph. Please turn on your photograph, your camera, and AGS will help us take the pictures as well. Please turn on your camera just for a few minutes. AGS, you need to stop sharing so that we can take the pictures.
Noted, madam.
Thank you, sir. Can you help us with the pictures, please, Mr. Peter? As many as we have. Thank you. I can see some cameras coming on. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Please let us know when you are done, AGS.
Noted, madam. Please, I'll call you back.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sheung. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Grateful for the privilege. Bye.
Thank you very much. Please, ESCO, stay on the call. All ESCOs, kindly stay on the call for like 2 to 5 minutes. We won't take more than 10 minutes of your time, please. When we have only ESCOs, we will start. Thank you. Oh my word. Mr. Peter, thank you for your computer. Where's he?
Thank you, madam.
Where's he? Okay, let's see who is still on the call.
There got a couple of people in there though. Maybe you might want to take them off from your end.
Okay, can I do that?
On Zoom, I think so, but Teams you can. But I want to try if you can actually take people off.
No, I can't. See if you can from your end. Thank you, IPC, for staying on, please. We won't take too much. We just want everybody. We still have some people still on the call. And maybe they left their laptops on, maybe.
Okay, can I advise that we exit the call, because it's not even, depending on what will be discussed, you never can tell when people will leave. And then we just do maybe a WhatsApp call right away, so that we're sure and certain of the person or the people.
WhatsApp call. Okay, on the ESCO WhatsApp call, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I did, ma. Okay, thank you, ma. Thank you. So we can leave here, I think, yeah.